You open your eyes. The ceiling is wrong. It's not the lamp from your apartment. It's not the crack in the paint above your bed. It's not the hum of the air purifier you fall asleep to every night. It's rough, unpainted wood. An old ceiling fan turning slow circles overhead. The air is humid. It smells like the ocean, like diesel, like something you can't quite name, like another decade. You sit up. The bed is iron-framed. The sheets are coarse. There's a photograph on the wall you've never seen. A woman in a 1940s dress, smiling at someone who isn't you. On the nightstand, there's a calendar. Your eyes drift across it, and your blood stops. December 6th, 1941. Saturday, Hawaii. Oahu. Schofield Barracks. You look down at your hands. They're young. Rough. There's a mechanical watch on your wrist. You stand up. Your legs are steady. The face in the mirror is 23 years old. A khaki uniform is draped over the chair, and on the shoulder, United States Army, 2nd Lieutenant. And in your head, there's one sentence. A sentence almost everyone has heard at some point in their life. Pearl Harbor. Tomorrow morning. You are not dreaming. You sit back down on the edge of the bed. Your heart is going fast, but you force yourself to think. What do you know? Everything you've ever absorbed, every documentary, every Wikipedia rabbit hole, every high school history class, every late-night YouTube video, all of it suddenly snaps into focus. And it is razor sharp. You know that. Right now, the Imperial Japanese Navy's 1st Air Fleet, 6 aircraft carriers, the most concentrated naval air power on the planet, is roughly 230 nautical miles due north of you, closing on Oahu. The commander is Vice Admiral Chuichi Nagumo. They have been under total radio silence for 11 days. You know the attack will come in 2 waves. The first wave, 183 aircraft, will arrive over Pearl Harbor at 7:48 in the morning. The second wave, 171 aircraft, will hit at 9. The whole thing will be over in about an hour and 50 minutes. You know that at 6:45 tomorrow morning, a destroyer called the USS Ward will sink a Japanese midget submarine right outside the harbor mouth. The report will go up the chain. It will be questioned. It will be rechecked. It will sit on a duty officer's desk until it doesn't matter anymore. You know that at 7:02 tomorrow morning, a remote radar station on the northern tip of the island, called Opana, will pick up the largest blip those 2 privates have ever seen on a screen. A massive formation coming in from the north. They will phone it in, and the lieutenant on the other end of the line, a man named Kermit Tyler, will say 5 words that history will never forget.
Don't worry about it. It's ours.
And he will hang up. You know that the commander of the entire Pacific Fleet, Admiral Husband E. Kimmel, is, today, the afternoon of December 6th, 1941, on a golf course. Tomorrow morning, he will stand at the window of his quarters and watch his fleet burn. You know that by sundown tomorrow, 2,403 Americans will be dead, including 1,177 sailors trapped inside the steel hull of the USS Arizona, and many of those bodies are still in that ship today. Every single thing in your head is true. Every single thing is accurate to the minute. And then you look down at the single thin gold bar on your shoulder. 2nd Lieutenant, the lowest commissioned rank in the United States Army. Above you, the chain runs 1st Lieutenant, Captain, Major, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, Brigadier General, Major General, Lieutenant General, 4-star General, 8 ranks above you. And the thing you are trying to stop requires Admiral Kimmel himself, today, before sundown, to put the entire Pacific Fleet on full war alert. You look at your watch. 6:17 in the morning. You have 25 hours and 31 minutes before the first Japanese plane appears over Pearl Harbor. 7:40 in the morning. You walk into the duty office at Schofield. The officer on watch is a 1st lieutenant named Pearson. Drinking coffee and reading the paper, you stand at attention. You salute. You speak. You tell him you have urgent intelligence. The Japanese fleet is north of the island. They will attack tomorrow morning. He puts his coffee down. Slowly, he asks you the only question that matters.
What's your source, Lieutenant?
You freeze. What can you say? That you came from 2024? That you watched a History Channel documentary about this once? Your mouth opens and closes. Finally, you hear yourself say,
I have a reliable source.
Lieutenant,
he says, in the calm, slightly bored tone of a man who has had this conversation before.
how have you been sleeping?
You are ordered back to your quarters to rest. 9:15. You try a different building. Base intelligence. A captain receives you. This time you're smarter. You don't say, I know the future. You say,
We have reason to believe the Japanese carrier strike force is moving toward Hawaii. Their radio silence pattern suggests they left home waters at least 10 days ago.
he looks at you.
Which report? Lieutenant, the Office of Naval Intelligence put out a bulletin yesterday locating the main Japanese fleet near Taiwan. Your information contradicts theirs. Who is your source?
You can't answer. He sends you away. On the way out, he says something almost gentle.
Lieutenant, there's a lot of tension in Hawaii right now. People are seeing things. It's normal.
12:30 in the afternoon. You try to call Opana radar station directly. It rings. A private answers. You tell him tomorrow morning at 7:02 your radar will pick up a massive formation coming in from the north. It is not B-17s. It is the Japanese. Hold the line. Insist. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. There's a long pause on the other end. The private says,
Sir, how am I supposed to log this call?
you say,
Don't log it. Just tomorrow morning, you have to.
the line goes dead. You dial back. No one picks up. It will hit you. Half an hour later, what really happened on that call? The private didn't hang up by accident. He went to find his sergeant, and by tonight, the military police are going to have your name. 2:45. You make it to the main gate of Admiral Kimmel's quarters. 2 MPs at the entrance. You, a second lieutenant with no appointment, no chain of command authorization, no orders, no documents. You try to explain. One of the MPs rests his hand on his sidearm.
Lieutenant, leave, now.
You stand on that asphalt driveway. You can see the White House at the end of it. About 100 feet from the window. You know that inside that house, this afternoon, Admiral Kimmel is preparing for a dinner party. You know that tomorrow morning he will look out of that very window and watch his fleet die. You know he will become the only Pacific Fleet commander in American history to be relieved of duty in wartime. And he will spend the rest of his life writing letters, filing appeals, trying to prove it wasn't his fault. And he is the one man on this island who could, today with a single sentence, change everything. You can't reach him. 5:20 in the afternoon. You're in the corner of the base mess hall. A cup of cold coffee in front of you. And you are starting to understand something. History didn't fail because of a lack of warnings. History had warnings. Plenty of them. On November 27th, Washington sent a war warning cable saying Japan could strike anywhere in the Pacific at any moment. Kimmel read it. He did nothing major because the cable didn't say Hawaii. On December 4th, Naval Intelligence decoded a cable from the Japanese consulate in Honolulu. They were dividing Pearl Harbor into a grid, reporting the position of every single ship. That intelligence sat on a desk. Tomorrow morning, the USS Ward is going to sink that submarine and report it. The report will be doubted for 45 minutes. Tomorrow morning, Opana will see those planes on radar and report them. And a tired lieutenant is going to say, don't worry about it. And it hits you. History didn't fail in the radar. It didn't fail in the cables. It failed because at every single layer, there was someone saying, it's fine, you're overreacting. Let's double check. Tomorrow morning, first thing. You are not the first person who tried to stop Pearl Harbor. You are just the last. 8:30 at night, you're back in your quarters, sitting on that iron bed, and you start to write. You write down everything you know, the position of the Japanese fleet, the names of the carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu, Shokaku, Zuikaku, the 2 attack waves, the times, the numbers of aircraft, the direction of approach, what Opana will see at 7:02, what the Ward will sink at 6:45, the exact minute the first bomb will hit the hangar on Ford Island, 7:55. 11 pages. You put it in an envelope. Right on the front side, urgent, requires delivery in person to Admiral Kimmel. You run it to the base communications office. You beg the duty officer to get it to him. He takes it. He looks at you. He says,
Sure, Lieutenant. First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. You stand on the steps outside. You look up at the Hawaiian sky. The stars are bright. The air is soft. The ocean, somewhere out in the dark, is black and calm. You know what first thing in the morning looks like. You know that envelope is never going to reach him. December 7th. You don't sleep. At 4 in the morning, you put your uniform on and walk out of the barracks. You don't know where you're going. You just don't want to be lying down when it happens. 6:45. Outside the harbor entrance. The USS Ward opens fire. A Japanese midget submarine goes down. The report goes up the chain. 7:02. Opana radar station. 2 privates, Lockard and Elliot, are watching a screen. The blip is enormous. Lockard picks up the phone. Lieutenant Tyler answers.
Don't worry about it.
History is moving forward in perfect surgical alignment with the script in your head. 7:48. You are standing on a small rise above Pearl City. From here, you can see the whole harbor. And then you hear it. It's a sound you have never heard in your life and somehow have heard 1,000 times. A high, layered, screaming engine note pressing down from the north, filling the entire sky. And then you see them. 183 aircraft. Zeros, Val dive bombers, Kate torpedo bombers, silver birds in the morning sun. 7:55. The first bomb hits the hangar on Ford Island. 8:06. An 1,800-pound armor-piercing bomb punches through the deck of the USS Arizona next to the number 2 turret. It detonates the forward magazine. The entire ship is torn in half in 9 seconds. 1,177 men die in that single instant. You watch the mushroom cloud rise out of the harbor, and the number in your head, 1177, stops being a number. It becomes 1,177 specific human beings. Their breakfast, their girlfriends, the letters they were halfway through writing the night before. You stand there. Your hands are shaking. Every piece of knowledge is still in your head. Every time. Every aircraft. Every name. And you could not change a single thing. By sundown that day, Pearl Harbor was burning. 2,403 Americans dead. 1,178 wounded. The Arizona, the Oklahoma, the West Virginia, the California sunk. 4 of the 8 battleships on the bottom of the harbor, 4 more crippled. 188 aircraft destroyed. The next morning, in Washington, Franklin Roosevelt gave a speech you've heard quoted your entire life. A date which will live in infamy. Your 11-page letter was found 2 days later, under the desk in the base communications office. It was filed away. Then it was lost. Nobody in history ever knew it existed. As for you, the military police came for you on December 8th. The charges: spreading panic, suspected mental instability, possible espionage. You refused to name your source. The court-martial took 6 weeks. You were discharged for conduct unbecoming an officer. You washed dishes in a small restaurant in Honolulu for 30 years. You died of a heart attack in 1972. Nobody came to your funeral. Your superpower was never knowledge. You knew everything. You knew more about what was coming than any other human being on that island. Your superpower failed because the world doesn't run on knowing. The world runs on power, on paperwork, on rank, on stamps, on signatures, on whether one human being is willing to listen to another. And you, a 23-year-old second lieutenant, had none of those things. The most unbreakable part of history is not the planes, not the bombs, not the sailors trapped inside the steel of the Arizona. The most unbreakable part of history is, at every layer, in every office, on every phone line, the person who says, "Don't worry about it. It's ours. Get some sleep. We'll deal with it in the morning." They are not bad people. They are ordinary people. They are exactly the kind of person who, at 7:40 in the morning on December 6th, 1941, would be sitting behind that desk, holding that cup of coffee. You